In this video, I'm going to teach you absolutely everything that you need to know about Etsy ads so that you can see some results just like these. And now I just want to start off this video by saying, regardless of whether your budget is $1 a day or $100 a day, you should always be making money with Etsy advertising. And so this is going to be a complete free mini course for you guys to watch. And I'm going to go over absolutely everything that you need to know, right from what Etsy ads actually are and how they work, the advantages of Etsy ads and why we actually use them as a business. I'm going to walk you through the whole Etsy ads dashboard. I'll talk you through exactly what key stats like views, clicks, click-through rates, and ROAS all mean. We'll also cover exactly what is the best Etsy ad budget for you and your specific shop. I'll tell you how that budget is then actually used. We'll also discuss how we can get the lowest possible cost per clicks for our shop. We'll cover a detailed strategy on how we can most effectively use these Etsy ads to actually scale up our business. We'll cover how to simplify and effectively assess your results with Etsy ads to determine if an ad set you're running is actually going to be profitable or not. We'll discuss exactly what listings you should be advertising, and also we'll know the exact cutoff point when we should then be turning said advertised listings off. And I'll also show you how we can get some advanced data from our ads that we can then use to massively boost our organic sales in our shop. So this course is going to be full of detail and it's going to give you absolutely everything that you need to know. So if it's your first time on my channel, my name is Alfie. I've been selling on Etsy for just over 3 years now, and I've earned some pretty good revenues in that time. So yeah, get your notebook out, relax, grab a coffee, maybe even an English tea, and let's make a start with discussing exactly what Etsy ads actually are and why we use Etsy ads to improve and scale our business. So Etsy ads is essentially just an opportunity for you to pay to guarantee to get your listings and your products shown in front of a much bigger audience. And so when you're scrolling through products on Etsy, any product you see that's got the little ad by Etsy seller tag underneath it, this is a product that has been paid to be positioned in front of your eyes. So usually as an Etsy seller, the only way that we can get our listings to the top pages of Etsy searches is by either making a hell of a lot of sales on that listing or by having some really good SEO that we can rank organically with in a niche that isn't very saturated. But what Etsy ads allows us to do is to give a brand new listing that chance to rank a lot higher in searches and really start getting a lot of clicks and a lot of traction and interaction with customers without having to wait that long period of building up sales history that would enable the listing to rank organically. And so Etsy ads actually work on something known as a cost per click basis. So whenever you see the term CPC, this just translates to cost per click. And so this means that in able to advertise your listings, you essentially set a daily budget to be used on ads. And then that budget is only used whenever a customer actually clicks on one of your listings, which are being advertised. So you are being costed per click, CPC. And so you can actually advertise every single listing in your store, or you can even just advertise specific listings, say just 1 or 2 listings, and that's literally it. Just forget about the rest of them. Another thing that you should know is that your advertised listings on Etsy are only ever going to be shown to customers who are actually searching for the search terms that you've got in your listings SEO. So you're never going to be paying money for your listings to just be shown to, say, complete random audiences. The only people that see your advertised listings are people that are typing in keywords to find your specific listing. And now, so why do we as business owners actually even consider using Etsy ads? Well, of course, the no-brainer reason is because it helps to bring in additional sales and additional revenue into your shop. And then, of course, what happens to a listing on Etsy when it starts making a lot of additional sales? It in turn gets a lot higher quality score with Etsy, builds up that sales velocity, and then actually gets ranked a lot higher organically as well, because of this increase in sales velocity. And so that's a real quick rundown of just what Etsy ads are. And now I'm going to go into my dashboard and actually show you how to navigate the dashboard and just talk through everything that you would expect to see, first of all. So the way to find your Etsy ads is in your shop manager through the marketing section, and then you can find Etsy ads through here. So once you're on the Etsy ads platform, you'll be presented with a graph initially that shows you the last 30 days. And just for interest, guys, this is a store that I've literally just created. It's featured in one of my recent YouTube videos. It's just a brand new print-on-demand clothing shop. So again, it hasn't been running for very long at all. You can see here from the views starting like from a very low number and slowly building up over time. Yeah, so the first thing you'll be presented on your dashboard is, of course, your overall stats. And now a key point to mention here is that these are your Etsy ads specific stats, okay? So these stats you're looking at don't cover any of your organic sales that you're making. These are purely ad specific stats. And so if you scroll down, it will then show you how many listings you're advertising and at what daily budget you're advertising those listings with. So this is also the section when you can go in and manage your budget and change it at any point. So the minimum daily budget that you can set is $1 and the maximum is $100. And then as we move down on the platform, you'll see this section here, which separates out all of your listings individually. So I'm just going to cover now the key things that we want to take into account here. So you can see going from left to right, you've got your listing. So your listing image, the title of your listing, fairly straightforward. You've then got the views. So I'm going to repeat myself here. You are not charged per view. A view is when somebody just views your listing, like when it just goes on their screen and they look at it, okay? So this counts as one view. You've then got clicks. A click, funnily enough, is when somebody actually clicks onto your listing, okay? Pretty straightforward. And clicks is where your budget is spent. So remember I said at the start, you're only spending your ad budget when somebody actually makes a click on your listing. Moving right again, you've got click rate. Now this is the ratio of people that have viewed your listing compared to people that have actually then clicked on your listing. So if you had 100 views and 1 click, this would give you a click rate of 1%. Moving right again, you've got orders and revenue. Now this is pretty straightforward. Again, this is Etsy ads specific orders and Etsy ads specific revenue for that given listing. Moving right again, you've got spend. So you set a budget on Etsy ads and then that budget is allocated for all of the listings that you're advertised. So we have no control on what percentage of budget is being spent per listing that we have chosen to advertise. And most of the case, what you normally find on Etsy ads is that you'll have 1, 2, maybe 3 listings which account for most of your budget spend. And then you'll find that a lot of other products have a much lower percentage of budget allocation. And this is because once Etsy really starts getting some stats from your listings and sees that, say, 1, 2, 3 of them are really selling well and responding to Etsy ads, then it really starts pushing those listings a hell of a lot more. And then if we move right again, you will see ROAS, ROAS. So this stands for return on ad spend. And this is essentially just the ratio of your revenue compared to the amount of money that you've actually spent to earn that revenue from ads. So for example, if you're selling a product for $10 and you have spent $10 on advertising that product to make one sale, then you'd have essentially have spent $10 on ads and got $10 in revenue return. This would give you a ROAS of 1. So 1 to 1. If you end up selling 2 of those products, so $20 in revenue, for the same ad spend of $10, then this will give you a ROAS of 2. So $20 return for $10 ad spend. Again, if you sell 3 of those products and get a revenue of $30, by still spending the same $10, this will give you a return on ad spend of 3. So $30 revenue and $10 ad spend. And so return on ad spend is one of the most key metrics that we're going to be looking at to assess whether our ads are profitable for us or not. And this is something I'm going to go into in much more detail later on in this course. And then if we move right from ROAS, you'll see you have an opportunity to turn the ads for individual listings on or off. So this is a very simple toggle switch, and literally at the click of a button, I said you can turn the listing on or you can turn the listing off. So that's a very simple breakdown of the Etsy ads dashboard. And now I just want to quickly cover some other aspects that are very important for you to know. So when we talk about cost per click, CPC, this is going to differentiate massively depending on a whole number of factors, including the quality of your listing, the likelihood of your listing actually selling as determined by Etsy, the niche that you're selling in, and also how competitive it is to sell your product versus all of the competition that you're competing against. Because of course, if Etsy looks at your listing and they think it's a really bad listing, you know, your pictures aren't very good, you haven't done your SEO, and you're also trying to compete in a really competitive niche where there's lots of competition, then because of this, Etsy are going to charge you a lot more to put your product in front of customers compared to another shop's product, which they think is going to have a lot more likelihood of selling. And guys, generally on Etsy, you can expect to see cost per clicks between 15 cents and around 60 cents, I would say. If you're looking and you see your cost per clicks somewhere up in like say $1 or over $1, then this is a major red flag to you that you need to be improving either the quality of your listings or you are in a super competitive niche. And so that's some very important information. And now let's actually talk about what your budget should actually be for your specific use case. So as I said, this is going to determine massively on what sort of product you're actually selling and of course what your profit margins are. So as a general rule of thumb, something I like to do is think of my Etsy ads in two different phases, okay? So I've got one very low budget phase, which I use for testing. And then once testing is complete, I have another phase, which I move into, which is a slightly higher budget, which I then use to try to focus more on conversions for my listings. And so when I talk about the first phase, this is purely just testing. I like to use a very low budget. And this is something between say $1 to $3 per day. I said, this is just me personally. I think this works well. And so say that you have a cost per click of say 20 cents and you're advertising all of your listings at $1 a day. This should give you a minimum of 5 clicks per day on your products. So 5 interactions, 5 visits to your store. And when I say I like to use a low budget between $1 and $3 for testing, this is because I like to advertise all of my listings at the start to get these clicks in and to start getting some stats and some information to tell me about what products are actually working well and what sort of keywords customers are using to find my products, which I'll show you how to find out a little later in the course. And yeah, so this is why I see no need at the beginning to start throwing super high budgets on, trying to get loads of sales at the start, because if you do that with all of your listings, in my opinion, it's very straightforward. You could be spending a lot of budget on listings that are not likely to convert. So this low budget test phase is all about finding what works. So that then when we move into increasing the budget, we can then take out all of the listings that aren't performing very well for us in ads, so that then our budget is only going to be used on what are the highest performers and the products that have the highest possible chances of making conversions for us. So yeah, just to recap, my budget would be very low at the start, say $3 or under for the first 30 days. After 30 days, when I've got some test results, I would then look to move up to say around $10 per day. And if $10 per day is profitable for us, again, I'll go into this in further detail later on in the course on how to work this out. But when I get to a point that's profitable, I'll then look to continuously scale the budget up to even the maximum $100 a day, as long as I'm still making profit. Okay, so now let's actually look at how we can assess our Etsy ad results and the key factors that we want to look for. So like I said at the start, the ROAS, return on ad spend, is one of the most key metrics that you want to be using to assess whether your ads for a specific listing is profitable or not. So again, let's stick with the example of taking a product which we sell for $20. But let's say that that product that we sell at $20 costs us $10 to produce. So if we've been advertising this listing for a little while and we see that we've got a ROAS showing up on the ROAS column on the right-hand side of 1, then this would mean that we've sold the product, say, for $20, and we've also spent $20 on advertising. Now, this is not a break-even point, because remember, it cost us $10 to produce the product. So we can very simply go into our dashboard, and if we see this product has got a ROAS of 1, we know it's not profitable. However, then if we spin that and we look on our dashboard and we see a ROAS of 2, meaning let's say we've sold 2 of the products for a combined $40 in revenue, and we've spent the same $20 advertising the revenue, this would give us a spend of $20 and $40 in sales back, a ROAS of 2. However, like I said, because it costs us $10 to produce each item, then this means that our $20 spend plus our $20 in production costs for those 2 items, this will then give us our break-even point of a ROAS of 2. So $40 to produce and spend on ads will give us $40 in sales back. This is our break-even point of 2. So if we log into our dashboard and that we see this specific ad for this product is running at a ROAS of 2, then we can very easily see with one look that, okay, now over the last 30 days, we've broke even on this ad. And again, if you take that and say you look and you've got a ROAS of 3, this would mean that you've sold 3 products now, so $60 in return for the same $20 ad spend. So you take the $20 ad spend plus the cost to produce those 3 products, so $10 each. That gives us $50 total spend on ads and production to give us $60 return. So we've then made $10 profit. So this means if we look at the dashboard and see a ROAS of 3 or above, we know that that ad is a profitable ad for us. And so how long should we then run our ads before we start paying attention to the ROAS score to determine if our ad is actually profitable or not? So I use a general rule of thumb. Whatever price I'm selling the product for, I like to make sure that on ads, I've spent double that price before I start to assess whether it's profitable or not. So again, for example, if I'm selling a product for $20, I will wait until I've spent around about $40 on ads for that product, and then I will assess the ROAS to determine if it's been profitable or not. And if at that point it's not profitable, the main thing you want to do is shut that product off from your advertising, because you never really want to be running products that's at a negative ROAS for you for too long, because essentially they're just costing you money. And so that's pretty much the nuts and bolts of how Etsy ads work and kind of the key metrics that we want to look at. And now I want to dive back into my dashboard for this new shop and kind of show you some real basic strategy that we can start to use to start scaling out our ads and our shop. So one of the key things that's great about Etsy ads that shows us is firstly, what listings are taken off and what listings are going to be most popular. So for example, I can see here 2 listings on this dashboard. And like I said, these ads have not been running for long. It's a brand new shop here, but I can already see that there's 2 products that are just doing so much better than all the rest of the products. So immediately this tells me that there is a great demand for these products, and that even me as a brand new shop, I'm able to rank quite high for them. So I would then go away, and any products I put out or any products I'm designing now going forward, I would make sure that I'm putting a lot more products on my shop in this direction and for these keywords. So yeah, that's one very simple, easy way to use some of the Etsy ads data. And now I want to move on to a little bit more of an advanced strategy here. And if you look at any of your listings on Etsy ads, you'll see this detailed stats button. So if you click into this detailed stats, it's actually going to present us the search terms that people are actually typing in on Etsy specifically that lead them to then click in and ordering on your products. So if you expand this here, you can see here, this is all of the search terms that buyers have been searching for that have then led to my product I'm advertising, both showing up on their screen to get the view and also them then clicking onto the product. So one thing I like to do here, because I think views are less important, I like to filter by clicks and then see which keywords we are ranking highest for the given product. So I can see I've got a few here, which have got the little high counter next to them. So what this again tells me is that I'm able to rank very high for these keywords. And so there's good opportunity there to start using these same keywords in my other listings and in new listings that I'm producing into the future. So yeah, this is the first really key bit of information. And now another thing that we can do to massively improve our ads, like I said, remember, our budget is only used when somebody clicks onto our listings, right? And so if you look here at what people are typing in to click on our listings, you can see a whole bunch of keywords. Most of the keywords people are searching in to find the listing that our budget is being used for is pretty to the point, right? Say for this one, tennis sweatshirt, tennis crew neck, that's all good. That's what we want. However, if you look to one here that says tennis mug, and that's taken a click, this is somebody that's gone on Etsy. They're looking for a tennis mug to buy, and my ad for that product has been shown to that person, and then they've clicked on the ad. So this is what you don't want, because a customer that's going on Etsy and searching for a tennis mug is a lot less likely to buy a tennis design sweatshirt than somebody that's gone on the Etsy and has typed in tennis sweatshirt. So we don't want our budget to be used for that customer that's looking for a tennis mug. So the great thing you can do, and I've actually already done it here, but you can actually toggle whether you want your ad to be shown for that keyword. So this is a great thing to do to make sure your budget is being used and allocated in the right way. Go on I would say a frequent basis, every other day even, or at least once a week, and just start turning off all of the keywords that people are clicking on your listing for that, you wouldn't want that sort of customer using up your budget to find your listings and get on your products. So yeah, that's a great little tip to help maximize your Etsy ad results over time. Okay guys, so that's the first little bit of strategy covered. And now I want to go into kind of a lot more general, like main strategy that you can apply for how you run Etsy ads. And now the first few things I want you to consider: Etsy ads cannot be run on your shop until it's been open for at least 15 days. So let's just get that one out of the way first. Second of all, I don't recommend that you run Etsy ads at all unless you have a minimum of 3 to 4 5-star reviews on your listing. The reason for this is because if you've got a brand new shop, it's been open for 15 days, you start running ads, but you have got no reviews and no sales history on your products, the chances of somebody clicking on your product and then actually converting and buying your listing is so much lower compared to if your listing had, say, 4 or 5 really good reviews that are going to give you a lot more social proof. So it's a no-brainer that having good reviews massively improves your conversion rate. And like I said on Etsy, because Etsy charges us cost per click, which is higher for listings that are less likely to sell as deemed by Etsy, for a lower quality of shop, then not only are we going to get a much higher cost per click from Etsy, but even when customers click on our products and they get to our product, they're going to be a lot less likely to even buy because we just don't have that sales history or enough social proof to actually convert and make the sale. So this is why I see so many sellers come to me for my advice and for my coaching, and they say, Alfie, I've been running ads now for a month, say 2 months. I'm making no profit. I'm really struggling to make sales. I look at their store and they've got, say, 2 or 3 sales, maybe just like 1 review or like 2 reviews. One of them's a 3-star review. And I'm like, there's no wonder you're wasting so much budget, because the priority shouldn't be running ads. The priority for you should be improving your store, improving your listings, and improving your social proof and your conversion rate before you look to start running any sort of Etsy ads campaign. So yeah, that's a key point to consider first of all. And another really key bit of the strategy is any new listing that I put on my store, I make sure that it goes straight into Etsy ads. So like I said, one thing Etsy ads is going to do is it's going to give you a load of data, guaranteed data, remember, because you're literally paying for guaranteed clicks on your products. So you're going to get that feedback, and it just allows you to learn and get data on any new listings at such a more rapid rate compared to if you were just doing it organically. And like I said, if you do then start making some sales and getting some traction on the brand new listing through ads, this in turn also massively helps the listing organically. So yeah, this is something I always recommend. Every new listing, get it straight onto Etsy ads. And now a big part of strategy is, of course, scaling up the business and scaling up your advertising over time. And so at what point should we look to increase our budget? Well, this is honestly, you shouldn't need to be a rocket science to work this out. And I'm going to say it so simply. If you are maxing out your spend every day on your budget, so if you look at the chart, you go to spend and you see, say you've got a budget of $10 a day, and you're spending $10 a day and your overall ads are profitable for you and your specific use case, then this is a no-brainer. Put the budget up. The goal is to always try and spend as much budget and as much on advertising as we possibly can whilst maintaining profitability. So the goal here, we want maximum exposure. We want to sell as many of our listings as possible to get as many sales coming in, to also help our organic listings as well, remember. And we just want as much coverage on Etsy as we possibly can. Because again, remember, every spot on Etsy that we're filling up with our listings is one spot that our competitors are not filling up. It's our spot. So yeah, this is another big reason why the bigger we can go, obviously, the much better this is going to be for us. And so yeah, Etsy ads, it doesn't have to be complicated, guys. And look, if you've got to a point when you're still struggling, you've even watched this video and your head's just exploding, or you're still not making profit, then I'll tell you again, you should always be making profit on Etsy ads. And if you're not making profit, there is going to be reasons for this. So whether you need to go back and look at altering your listings or your store to improve your conversion rates, whether you need to look at your Etsy ad strategy as a whole, whether you need to look at the SEO side of things and look at what keywords are being used for people to find your listings. You know, if you're not making the profits on ads, there's going to be reasons for it. And if you kind of just want to do it the quick and easy way, and you kind of do want to get a lot more, I'd say not guaranteed results, but certainly a lot higher chance of getting results, then, you know, one thing I love to do is coaching and work directly with you guys on a one-to-one private basis. So I've seen some really good results with the clients I've been working with now. I absolutely love to do it. And as part of the coaching program, working directly with me, not only are we going through the whole phase of your business, so taking your business right from A to Z, scaling it up, also obviously including a full Etsy ads campaign that we'll walk through together. I just think working with somebody that has been there and done it and has kind of made all the mistakes, it's always going to yield better results than, say, you just taking some sort of generic course or, you know, trying to figure everything out for yourself. If you get stuck, then a coach is just at the other end of a phone, you know, one message away. I think it's just a no-brainer why the results are so much better from private one-on-one coaching compared to just doing courses. But yeah, if that's something that interests you and you think that you'd have a lot more success with a private mentor, then I'll leave a link in the video description for a free consultation call and we can see if we're a good fit to work together. But otherwise, guys, best of luck with your Etsy ads. Thanks so much for watching. I said this course is going to stay on YouTube and it's always going to be free. You are never going to pay a cent for this course. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it and best of luck. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys. Take care.